Chris Jansen is on the campus of the University of Florida in Gainesville for us. Are you getting any indication, Chris, from where you are as to why the secretary is losing support from young voters?
Yeah, and I think it's consistent with what we've seen as we look around the campus here, and it's starting to wake up this morning, Craig. Look, there's honesty and trustworthy. That goes through all demographics. But there are a couple things about millennials. One is they're less likely to be ideological, which means we know from the numbers they're less likely to register as a Republican or a Democrat. More of them are independents. If they are registered to a party, they don't feel that affinity, in part because they haven't been in it as long, but also it's just a sort of a different mindset. So I've got Mike and Mark here. They're two Republicans, both undecided, and a lot of people are saying, what, after all this time, you still haven't figured it out? What's the conundrum for you?
Well, to me, I heard you say there's a lot of people who are ideological voters or who are not ideological voters. I am not an ideological voter, I am an ideological voter. I'm a strict conservative, and to me, I don't see either one of these candidates being defending the Constitution or being conservative in any way, shape, or form. So I look past that, and then I look to, can I see them doing the nonpartisan side of the job very well? Do I see them as honest or trustworthy, or do they have the temperament to negotiate with world leaders? Do I see them as not a liar? And I don't. And so to me, it's I'm trying to find the best candidate on the ballot, and I just don't see any of them filling that void for me.
What is it for you?
Why I'm undecided?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really comes down to, the choice between the lesser of two evils, which is awful, and I think the American people deserve better than that. And I don't like knowing that I have to choose between, like, crude on one hand and corrupt on the other, in my opinion. So, like you said, millennial voters are less partisan, so, if you're a partisan voter, you vote party lines. Millennial voters, we vote more on character, I find, and the character of both of the candidates just doesn't appeal to a lot of people.
Would either of you vote for either Johnson or Stein? Would you go third party?
I personally definitely would not vote for Stein, just ideologically. Or
Johnson?
And Johnson I've thought about, but I have decided.
Real quickly.
I would vote for Gary Johnson if he was more competitive.
All right, so this is the nightmare for Hillary Clinton, who is losing these voters in huge numbers. It's those third parties. And let me just say one more thing, Craig. Think about it. This is the first generation who has had all the information in their pocket, which means you and I, when we were growing up, right, Craig, if we wanted to figure out what was going on in politics, we watched the 6:30 news, we waited for the newspaper to come out. Maybe we started to get on the internet. That's not the case anymore. They have everything they need, and not just from the more traditional media, and that's part of what makes this whole millennial vote, of a better word, squishy and up for grabs, Craig.
Amen. Those millennials, they're killing us too, Chris Jansen. You talked to them about that. Mike and Mark on the campus.
Well, that is true.
That's a separate show. On the campus of the University of Florida, big thanks to you. Big thanks to you.